Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today is a very special day, followed by a very special 6-day streak. We're on historic Brawl Fest Day. Yes, Wizards of the Coast have kindly allowed us to play the best format on Arena for a full week for a price. So, yeah, we're going to be playing some historic Brawl today, and, you know, it's just a normal event. Servo Exhibition, Renegade Rallier, and Fatal Push are the alternative art styles. And yeah, I hate to do this, because they kind of put us in a position where it's kind of like holding the format hostage. But if you really like Historic Brawl, I highly suggest you give Wizards either your gems or your gold, because I can't help but feel if you don't do it here, they'll just say that the format isn't popular enough, nobody bought it. So if you do enjoy Brawl, jump in this event, get you 3 wins. Again, I hate to tell you how to spend your money, but, you know, I feel like Wizards is doing it. There is another event in January that's completely free, though. I don't honestly understand why they even announced that in advance. But, you know what? You've got to show your support for this one, because they've recently made a post talking about how they were uncertain about the popularity of this format, so this is kind of a test run for permanently putting Historic Brawl in, so you really just have to give them as little of an excuse to not include it as you possibly can, and that honestly starts with putting your money where your mouth is on this one, I'm afraid. So, yeah. Anyway, on a higher note, we're going to be playing some Historic Brawl, so that's pretty great. Today we're going to be playing a list I like to call Joyra Storm. We played this a little bit on stream, though at the time I was extremely tired and ended up having some issues that I ended up having to end the stream early with. So today's video is going to be a mix, I think, between stream content and Historic Brawl event content. So, you know, stick around if you're not too interested in the stream content. There is some normal, uncurated content. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, we're going to be playing with Joyra Weatherlight Captain, a 4-mana 3/3 that says whenever you cast a historic spell, you get to draw a card. This is our commander, but it is also a combo piece to a bigger plan. The bigger plan being this wonderful little card here that I can't help but feel is going to get banned sooner rather than later. 5 mana for a legendary artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control, aka all of your mana rocks, things like Mind Stone, and Guardian Idol, and Arcane Signet, and Mox Amber. By the way, all of those, with a Joyra out, draw you a card. So while you're playing historic spells and untapping all of your mana rocks generating mana, you should also be drawing a card alongside it with your Joyra. We do have Videlcan Archmage in here as well, or Archmage? Is it Archmage? Archmage? I don't know. 4 mana 0/2, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get to draw a card. It's similar to Joyra, effectively the same card, except for historic spells also include legendary sorceries, like Khan's Temporal Sundering, for example. So, yeah, this is a combo deck through and through. If you see my Paradox Engine combo, it's going to play out quite similar to that. So we're going to be playing as many spells as we can. We're going to be using Whir of Invention to find cards like Mystic Forge, which allow us then to cast cards off the top of our library. If we don't like the card, we can exile it and then cast the one that's underneath it, untapping Mystic Forge and allowing us to use that effect again. Finally, winning with something like Aetherflux Reservoir to deal 50 damage to our opponent's face, or using Diligent Excavator, a 2-mana 1/3 that says whenever you cast a historic spell, target player mills 2 cards, so that's one way that we can win the game as well. And we also have Omniscience in here as well with the Flood of Tears combo, since we do have lots and lots of permanents we can put in play to trigger the Flood of Tears second half, which is if you have 4 or more non-token permanents, you get to put a permanent from your hand onto the battlefield. So we're going to put Omniscience into play. All of our spells become free, and then we can cast all of our mana rocks and do our thing as we normally would. We can even do extra spells with things like Scholar of the Ages. So Scholar of the Ages gets back Flood of Tears and another spell of our choice. So it could be, I don't know, anything you want, like War of Invention to get the rest of your deck out, I suppose, would be one way you could do it. Khan's Temporal Sundering exiles itself, so it's not a way of doing extra turns, but we could get something like Seagate Restoration, for example, to draw our entire deck if we really wanted to do something like that. I don't think we actually have a... No, we don't have an alternative self-mill win con, which is another option if you wanted to do that. You could use the Diligent Excavator plan to use something like Thassa's Oracle or Big Jace. We're not really going to be doing that. We're going to be milling our opponent or hitting them in the face for 50. Most of the time when I've played this deck, that's actually worked out for us. We could also Field of the Dead as well, since the mana base is quite widely spread. Since most of the deck is actually blue, we can skew our lands into colorless quite a lot heavily as well. But yeah, I think the deck should pretty much explain itself as we go. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as I mentioned, make sure to play some Historic Brawl on Arena to let Wizards know you actually want to play the format and it's worth their time investing it into development time, because if you don't, all they'll do is update the store every single time. So yeah, without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we're in, and it's been a while since I've seen you, Niv-Mizzet Reborn, and I've got to say, at not any point during my life did I consider the fact that I might have missed you, because I don't. So yeah, Niv-Mizzet Reborn, 5-color good stuff deck. Basically, it just plays all the good stuff in Magic, and then it wins or it doesn't. We're just going to play an island, and we're going to pass. I'm going to go for this Arcane Signet next turn, and hope for the best. This can tap for colorless. I suppose there's not really much reason for me to necessarily play it one way or the other. So let's just go Arcane Signet here. I don't know if I'm going to throw Joyra out immediately, because our opponent's got nothing to do right now, so really rather than not have killing Joyra be an option for them. Instead, maybe a Mystic Forge could be okay. At least with Mystic Forge, I get to influence the top of my deck, and Ugin the Ineffable's not too bad. Okay, so not going to be Ugin, going to be Narset. Narset guarantees Joyra is dead if we play it. And then 3 mana. I can't draw cards. Fantastic. Alright. Uh-huh. Opponent is a barrel of laughs, aren't they? Ooh, there's a Field of the Dead. Interesting. So to get rid of that, I kind of have to exile the Mystic Forge. I kind of want it at the same time. I don't think I'm going to win from it. So I think maybe I want to actually thin the deck with Fabled Passage, grab another blue source for this War of Invention. And yeah, try and set up something like Mind Stone here. There's a Commit to Memory on top. 1, 2, 3. I can get a 2-drop with War of Invention, which doesn't do me much good. I could just play Joyra here, because, you know, I can't draw cards anyway, so a tick down from Narset's just perfectly fine. Skyclave Relic kicked. Yeah, So they kind of have to kill Joyra here, because if they don't, I can attack Narset. And then start drawing cards, potentially. Big bolus. Or medium bolus, probably. More realistically. Yeah, here we kill Joyra.
Let thoughts flow like river rapids.
Only our opponent is allowed to draw cards in this game. Command zone, please. And passes. Do I want commit to memory? Yeah, I suppose I do, actually. Sculpting Steel is a good one, actually. That's another Mystic Forge if we want it. I can also whir for Paradox Engine now, right? It's 5-drop? I should know this because I play it too much. Yeah, it's a 5-drop. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that good? It's not the worst. I can whir plus Pact of Negation. I suppose. Bolus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Metallic Rebuke's pretty bad. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass here. And I'm just going to whir for Paradox Engine. So I don't care about that.
Will resonate throughout the multiverse.
They draw a card. I'm going to get rid of Metallic Rebuke at this point, because it's pretty garbage.
I outsmarted you eons ago.
Ashiok. That one I'm a little less into, but I'll allow it.
There is little as
And they're going to bounce Mystic Forge, which is fine. So now I'm going to do an X5 Whir of Invention. Grabbing... Where are you? There you are. Paradox Engine. And we'll get rid of Pact of Negation. This is going to be quite a close one, I would say. So I have to get rid of Narset Parter Veils before I can really truly go off, but I have Ugin to do that. So we can tap, tap. Could play Aether Spell Bomb, that nets me some mana. It's all going to be free though with an Ugin outright, so I play this. Untap my Signets. I can tap, tap. I don't really need to draw a card just yet, so I'm going to save my Ugin's Minus for now, I think. Let's play Mystic Forge. There's a Scholar on top. 1, 2. I think we'll get rid of Scholar. Didn't really want to see a land there, but we can play Aether Spell Bomb. So that then I can go tap, get a Traveler's Amulet. Tap, tap. Play Traveler's Amulet. Tap everything. I like the Maze Mind Tome, so we're going to play that. Untap everything. I don't like the Jwari's Disruption. So we're going to... Let's see. I think we minus Ugin play Joyra. So get rid of their card draw. Prevention. Play Joyra. I should have played Mystic Forge tap there, actually. But it should be okay. So we get rid of the disruptions, a Flood of Tears. Let's draw that. Hedron Archive. There's a Khan's Temporal Sundering on top. So I can draw that. Because that's a nice card I might want to play later. Let's get rid of the mountain. Uh-oh. Let's Traveler's Amulet. Change the top of the deck. I think we've whiffed, unfortunately. Oh, so close. We can actually Emery, though. Emery draws me a card. So we put the Aetherworks Reservoir in our hands. Now I get some extra mana. I've got 4 mana now. I can Reservoir. I can't believe we're winning this, by the way. I truly can't. So I think I've made a couple of errors here and there. Khan's Temporal Sundering's just kind of perfectly fine, right? I'll just play this. I don't think I can really lose at this point since I got my win con already in hand. So if I was to Khan's Temporal Sundering, take an extra turn, just bounce. It really doesn't matter, does it? Just bounce Bolus, I guess. Start gaining life. The extra turn allows me now to use Emery. When I use Emery, then I get my full graveyard in which to recast, which is infinite mana with the Aether Spell Bomb. Since I can replay this for 1 mana every single time, it will untap Emery and untap all of my mana rocks, generating me the mana to also sack it to draw a card. So I've got access to my entire deck at this point, so it's just a matter of playing it out until Aetherflux Reservoir gets me to 50 life, ping my opponent in the face, screw you, Niv Mizzet Reborn, aka whatever this Super Friends garbage was. Got him. Ooh, Omnath. Yeah. Keep. Alright, so we're going to go straight into a Thriving Isle on red. And then we'll pass the turn. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves. For those who don't know, this is a card that's banned in Standard. Not banned in Historic Brawl, but in Standard Brawl. 4 mana for a 4/4. Enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and then when a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. If it's the first time, this ability is resolved. If it's the second time, you basically get Omnath for free, so, you know, any kind of fetching ability will do that. And if it's the third time, 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. It is an absurd, badly designed card. Just the way Wizards like it. Alright, lots and lots of mana. To a few other cards. Oh, that's sweet. So we can go Spybluff Canal, we can play Joyra, Weatherlight Captain, we can go Mox Amber, draw a card, which actually cost reduces the Emery. So we can play the Emery and draw a card as well. Mill 4. That's a memory. Interesting. You also got the Aether Spell Bomb in there as well. Don't know if we necessarily want to be bouncing Omnath, but the option's there, I suppose. Okay, so from here, I kind of want to maximize the amount of draws I can get, so Prophetic Prism's looking like an option. Could also Aether Spell Bomb off the Emery. Probably want to be doing that as well with my turn. Let's thin the deck first. And grab some blue. Fun fact, we're almost entirely mono blue in this deck. So Emery is going to go get me, I think, Aether Spell Bomb. Could get the Renegade map for thinning on the next turn. Probably unlikely to need to do that, though. Chromatic Sphere. Might as well. Let's go Maze Mine Tome. Draw. It's a pretty good one. We'll do a Scry. Definitely don't want extra lands. And then we'll end the turn with a Prophetic Prism, drawing 2. That's a card you want to see. And that certainly is. Alright. Alrighty then. Let's see what happens from here. Hour of Promise. So that will get them 2 lands. If they got a third in hand, they can get full Omnath value here. That card was practically free. So it gives them 4 mana there and some life gain. Growth Spiral, puts the land in play, that's 4 damage. Field of the Dead, hits the field. Makes a Zomb. Nothing to do with the last bit of mana. Alright, now the question is, do we win? I love it when you can just say that. It's one of my favourite things about Magic. Do I just win? It's also one of my most hated. What have we got in here? We got a fair bit of mana. Oh yeah, I think we're good. So we'll play Paradox Engine, draw a card. Emery, Renegade Map. Play Renegade Map, untap. Draw cards. We will then QQ, giving us 3 mana. We'll play Trophy Mage. Don't think we got anything in the yard anymore. No. Take action. We're going to go get... probably want this at some point, but not right now. I just need more mana, to be honest. So I guess let's get a Mana Geode. Tap, tap. We only have 2. My goodness. Let's get a Chromatic Sphere then, and untap our mana. And then tap. Now we got 3 mana. So we're working our way up. Mana Geodes. Untap. Definitely don't want that. I think we're doing just fine on cards, thank you very much. We do actually want to go with Diligent Excavator here. Tap, tap. That generates 4 mana. We're going to go Hedron Archive, untap. Mill ourselves so we can try and fuel Emery. There we go. Tap, tap. We have fueled Emery. Can also thin the deck. Gives us a 1-drop in the yard, but we already have one with the Traveler's Amulet. So let's just play that. Mill. Tap, tap. Let's go with Arcane Signet. I might start milling them, actually. That's how we close out one part of this game. It's one way we can win the game. Obviously, we have this bad boy, which kind of seals the deal, I think. All of our cards are free. Take an extra turn. Bounce Omnath. I don't need mana anymore. Except for to redraw my deck if I want with memory. So now it's just kind of a matter of playing Chromatic Sphere, drawing Emery with the Sphere, tapping, untapping, milling, Planar Bridge. Have we QQ'd? We haven't QQ'd. So let's play Planar Bridge so we can get any permanent out of our deck for 8 mana. Mill, mill, draw. What can Planar Bridge actually get me here? Sure, it can get me something that just kind of wins. Yeah, there we go. Aether Spell, Aetherflux Reservoir, QQ, Scholar. Untap everything, start generating health with the Aetherflux Reservoir, get Valakut's Awakening, and might as well get the commit to memory. QQ. Mystic Forge, so we can play for free any artifacts that we find on top of our deck. Mill. Fair magic, folks. I know, right? Good and fair. We'll go commit. Commit this Incubation Druid. 6, 9. You see it right there, folks. That's the stuff of dreams. 17 cards left. Have I QQ'd? I've QQ'd. Let's go with the Cultivator's Caravan. Play that. Mill. So we can mill or we can deal damage. We're at 78 life now. We can deal damage with Aetherflux Reservoir for the win. So we got two different options of victory there. It's a very dirtly deck, of course. Thank you very much, Snuggles, for putting up with that. Appreciate it. I have this exact same deck, but I thought you would think it was too toxic. Me and Paradox Engine, we get along just fine. Alright. Again, I haven't found a situation where we haven't found Paradox Engine, so that's kind of an argument, I guess, against the deck existing in Historic Brawl. I almost want to keep this, and I almost want to mull it. It's hard. It's hard to say. I guess we'll keep it because of the Traveler's Amulet. So Zemidus is playing Ugin the Spirit Dragon. The only way I will tolerate that card in Historic Brawl, as long as it's in the 1, not the 59. We're going to go with the Traveler's Amulet here and start thinning, I think. Other than that, this card is degenerate and I hate it and I want no part of it. But Mono Brown, sufficiently janky enough, I think, that you can make making an argument for it. I actually don't know if we want to keep the amulet in play. I guess we've got no reason to crack it just yet in case we draw like an Emery. Labyrinth of Scophos. Decoction module. Nice. We'll do some scrying here. That's a bit of an awkward one, actually. I'd much rather, I think, have a land drop. So we'll put that to the bottom. I guess I should have Maze Mind Tomed, right? Oops. Alright. We'll draw with Maze Mind Tome, I think. And then crack the passage. Guardian Idol. So I'm kind of curious if Ugin as a top-end card even really does much against us here. I can't respond to this, can I? Dang it. I was wondering if I could play this and in response crack it so there's 2 lands. There's just no way you can do that, I don't think. So that's a tap land, unfortunately. Let's grab an island. Should have grabbed a mountain, actually, but here we are. This is the life we live now. I'll crack this for a mountain. And let's go Aether's Spellbomb. I'll just draw a card so we give over priority. Alright. Four, 5, 6, 7. Land drop is Ugin the Spirit Dragon next turn. Stone Coil X1. What do we want to do here? Do we want to just draw a card and then lose our Joyra? Almost feels not worth doing, but... Then we'll just go Gilded Lotus. Play Renegade Map. And then draw. If I'm able to get going, then I'm good, but... I think I'm more likely to get ulted for a lack of interaction than anything else. And I dare say an ulted Ugin will do just fine. That's a thing. Yeah, I think we just go tap land, play planar bridge, pass the turn. Crack Renegade map for the last basic in our deck. Actually, no, do we have... We have all the basics now, I think. I'm pretty sure I only had 3 in the deck. So it's better in play. So Ugin hits us. Next turn it can ult, gaining 7, drawing 7, and putting 7 permanents into play. And we take 1. Alright, let's see. What are we doing here? So Planar Bridge can get us any permanent we want for 8 mana. Essentially tapping us entirely out, though. I would love to have had Joyra already in play, but it's not an option. I just kind of have to go for it, I think. So we take Omniscience. Makes all of our spells free. Let's draw 5. Play the Archmage. Now we're just digging for Paradox Engine, essentially. Or Aetherflux Reservoir. Get that down now, draw a card. Prophetic Prism. That should mean that we win. Also that. There's Paradox Engine. Now I think it's impossible to lose. We'll just play Guardian Idol. Play Joyra, because we can. QQ. Because I think it might matter, but maybe not. A little bit of spare mana here and there, but yeah, we're already at 57, so now we just go ahead and 50 our opponent for lethal. Cool. Oh, sorry, Zemadeus, I didn't see. My apologies, buddy. Oh boy, are we in for a treat. This hand technically has coloured mana. We are on the draw. Prophetic Prism can be our filter. I don't think our opponent will really do too much about this. Yeah, I'm going to keep it, actually. We're always going to go Prism on turn 2 anyway, right? So, who knows. So, our opponent's playing the fun Niv Mizzet. Ooh, well, we got a Temple anyway. So, 3 lands, we don't really want to see another. Khan's Temporal Sundering is not a card I need right now. Got to assume that our opponent will get down Niv Mizzet Peyrune. By that point, they'll be drawing off of our instants and sorceries. So, Niv Mizzet Peyrune is an uncounterable 6/6/5/5... 6 mana, sorry, 5/5 flyer. Spell can't be countered, so it's really good against the Brawl decks should they show up. Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target, and whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. It is actually really good against the Brawl decks. I believe it wasn't... Yeah, it wasn't around when Brawl originally ruined Brawl. So let's go Cryptic Caves. Let's just go with a Prophetic Prism and get a redraw while we still can. Traveler's Amulet. Alright. Well, we can go Thriving Isle Emery next turn. It'll probably get bolted off most likely, but that's fine. Inventor's Fair is a really nice pickup. We're not going to expose that to Field of Ruins and Ghost Quarters just yet, though. So let's go with Emery. See if it gets killed or countered. I'm fine with either, honestly. Yep, Lofty Denial, don't care. Could have played around that, actually, but... I probably should have. I was pretty much thinking about going for the Thriving Isle from the start of the turn anyway, so I was kind of locked into a bad train of thought. Mana Geode. Okay. So, by the way, Commit is not a counterspell, which means I can actually use this against Niv Mizzet Peyrune on turn 6, or when they're at 6 mana, which looks to be next turn. So, let's play Blast Zone. They've got 2 mana open, it's probably counter magic. And I need my 4 mana, so as much as I really want to go something like Midnight Clock to hold open, or to ramp into a Gilded Lotus later, I don't know if I can accept that. I think I've just got to answer Niv Mizzet right now. It's not too much of an issue stopping us from playing our deck, it's just that their deck will be entirely built around this card. So we've got to answer it. Commit your Niv Mizzet. So they can either put it into their deck or back into the command zone. Either way, there will be some time before this card becomes an issue. We really... Ooh, they're going to put it in the deck. Nice. Alright, well, from here then, we can't really do too much off of this. I guess I could play Joyra and then Traveler's Amulet. That doesn't feel too fantastic, though. Our mana kind of hasn't lined up for good plays like that. I think I'm just going to go Gilded Lotus. 2, 3. I can't play Metallic Rebuke off of Midnight Clock here because I have to tap for 3. This will leave me with 1 plus the Improvise, so I'm missing 1 mana on that. I think I'm just going to pass. If I could slow my opponent down at any point, Dwarven Mine seems like a very bad card. Yeah, it's cards like that that I really want to try and prevent our opponent from using. Keep my Gilded Lotus around. There's a Trophy Mage, which is... What is Trophy Mage to us? It's Magistrate's Scepter? Or a Sculpting Steel? I guess we could go with a Sculpting Steel. So we go Gilded Lotus mana for Trophy Mage. Trophy Mage gets us the 3 mana for Sculpting Steel. We play that, we've got 5 mana left. Then we go Joyra plus Traveler's Amulet. Is that the line? Or do we try and play around with extra Joyra triggers? I could even shuffle their library and screw up Niv Mizzet a little bit here, actually. But if they tap out for Niv Mizzet next turn, I'm not too fussed about that. Yeah, I think I'll just go Trophy Mage. We'll continue to set up a little bit. They don't have counter magic. That's good to know. We will go for Sculpting Steel. Sculpting Steel, the Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus can be then a Joyra. And then we'll go Traveler's Amulet to draw cards, get some, at least some value off of that. Seagate Restoration is a great play for next turn. Alright. No sweeper, please. So opponent draws their commander. I'm assuming they're going to go ahead and play it, but without a land drop, which I'm assuming they're also running out of. Kiorabes's Sea God. Alright. That could be a problem card if we didn't already have the win in hand, which I think we do. So, let's try and win, shall we? 3-6. Let's go Inventor's Fair. Grab Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine... Everything but the Cryptic Caves, please, because I might need that. I'm going to have to tap it anyway, actually. So we draw a card, Whelming Wave. I'm going to have to pay 3 here in order to play Guardian Idol. Drawing a card untapping my Gilded Lotuses. Magistrate's Scepter is going to be the turns we need to untap. This deck is absolutely insane. Jesus. Yeah, put a counter on Magistrate's Scepter. Then we will play Midnight Clock, untapping Drawing. Put a counter on Magistrate's Scepter. Play a Mana Geode. Untap Draw. Scry to put anything that's not interesting to the bottom. Let's put a counter on Magistrate's Scepter. We will then play Maze Mind Tome. More card advantage. For the card advantage gods, a Flood of Tears. We will remove 3 counters to take an extra turn. We will then draw a card. Videlcan Archmage. Float all our mana. Work away towards the next extra turn. There's a Chromatic Sphere, which we can crack. Draw 2. Pact Negation, just in case. Yeah, an extra counter there, please. Draw an extra card here, please. We will draw a card here. Aether Spellbomb, untap everything. There's a Whir of Invention. We'll go a Whir of Invention X4 for Aetherworks Marvel. Or Aetherworks Reservoir, sorry. I hate that card so much I can't get it out of my head. It's clear to me now. Let's draw cards. Do our thing. There's an Omniscience. I think that says all it really needs to say, doesn't it? Mana doesn't matter anymore. So now all my spells are free. We'll take an extra turn, so we got 2 spells in the bag here. Let's play an Ugin. I'm going to keep floating a little bit of mana, because Memory is still a card that I do need to spend mana on, so there might be a few cards like that along the way that I'm not thinking of. We will then... We're already at 50, actually, so we'll just River's Rebuke our opponent. Assuming they had Hexproof, this is how we kind of get around that. We had like a Whelming Wave if they've got a Shalai, for example. And yeah, then we just 50 them in the face. This card is broken. This deck is broken. Play this if you want free wins. Yeah. This is one of my favorite artifacts of all time. It needs banning. It really, truly does. I don't think I've dropped a game with this deck. Like, maybe ever. Maybe once. I don't know. A bad draw can get you, for sure, but... Good lord, is it broken. And so not interactive as well. All the cards that are used to interact are also useful to shut down your opponent's ways of stopping you. It's pretty funny. In a really painful kind of way. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well. Don't forget to jump on into Arena to play some Historic Brawl yourselves. Wizards needs you to pat them on the back and tell them it's okay to have Historic Brawl on the client. So the way you can do that is by giving them your gold and your gems and then playing Historic Brawl, the best format on Magic Arena. So I would really implore all of you that do enjoy Brawl to go ahead and play this format as much as humanly possible for the week that it is out. Even though, you know, they're kind of holding the format hostage with an entry fee, which is completely unnecessary, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'll be coming back with some more Historic Brawl throughout the week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, take care, guys.